Hi everyone, this is Intuitive Spirit Manifested 444 coming at you with a video, an astrology video. Sorry, my stuttering self. But anyways, I want to talk to you guys about Chiron, Chiron. If you get a chance, please look it up so that you are in tune to what I'm talking about. I know some people, learn at different ways. So me just talking, may help some, but for some others, it may do good to actually research what it is that I'm talking about. But today I'm talking about Chiron because on February 18th of this year, it has left Pisces and it has entered into Aries. Now, what that means for us is that, for one, we're going to deal with a lot of challenges in regards to identity. Like a lot of identity, potential crisis, issues of, what am I here for? What am I fighting for? What do people want from me? What is my purpose? You may come face to face with those questions, many, many times during the duration of Chiron being in Aries. Because Aries is ruled by the planet Mars. Mars is one of the gods of war, next to Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto. Those are the gods. Those are the planets of war. And the definition of it is self-explanatory. I don't think I even need to explain any more about Mars or Scorpio being gods of war. But what that means is that with Chiron being in Aries, that, you will have the potential to be possibly at war with yourself on an identity basis. Trying your best to discover your purpose and what you are here for. So I wanted to kind of give you a little background on Chiron. Chiron is, clarified as the wounded healer. It is also classified as both a minor planet and a comet. It is not exactly a planet per se. It's a minor planet. They don't even really classify it as such. You might want to just look at it as a comet. It is very intense. It's life-changing when Chiron falls in Aries. When Chiron is transitioning into Aries, it's very, very intense because Aries is ruled by Aries is a fire sign, and it's ruled by lots and lots of passion and lots of action. So when can you imagine Chiron passing through Aries, the energy and the atmosphere around us. Because as said before in previous videos, we are ruled by the solar system. So if you learn astrology and you learn your ascendant sign, or AKA your ruling planet, that's the planet that you're ruled by. And the birth chart is good by telling you that. So however, whatever planet is ruled by you, they deeply affects the way that you carry yourself, the way you think, the way that you you act into the world. It's very important. So when Chiron is, transiting into Aries, that means the whole atmosphere is going to have this type of feeling to it, where it's like there might be, a lot of identity issues amongst us. Well, not might. There will be a lot of identity issues amongst us. There will be a lot of this, these crises of who am I? The whole atmosphere will feel that. Everybody around you will seem to be looking for their purpose, trying to figure out who they are. What do people want from them? That will just be the whole ordeal. But in terms of your individual birth charts, Chiron is considered to be the wounded healer because it represents our deepest scars that we don't really like the world to see. And we try to cover it up. Everybody has gone through some kind of trauma as a child that has deeply affected them and deeply, and whether a positive or a negative way. Because Chiron, even though it's very painful, it's a painful part of us. It also can be healing. It also has healing potential. Um, Chiron can never fully be healed, because there's a part of us that's just gonna always have the scar, but we can help to soothe it, and thus help to heal it in some form or fragment. Um, through the pain that we endure, the way that we you know, choose to take matters into our own hand and just take the powers, and self-proclaim our identities, and whatever Chiron, whatever planet Chiron is in, it has a lot to do with the traumas that you carried on from childhood. So with Chiron being in Aries, I'm gonna say off tops that you know you you suffered a lot of wounds to your ego. You were constantly at war with who you really were, who you really are. Um, it can be very painful, because Chiron is the first sign. It's the ego. It's Aries. So that's your whole identity. So when Chiron is in Aries, you are or in the first house of your ascendant sign, then your ego is constantly being challenged. You may not even really feel like you know who you really are. I took a few notes just to get what I thought would be helpful for people to understand more and more about Chiron. So I want to just read over a few notes. So Chiron makes us feel, when it's in Aries, Chiron makes us feel overall, I should say, wounded, ashamed, broken, and inadequate. It challenges Aries' expression of self-individuality. Now, that's when it's in Aries, okay? In Aries, Chiron can make you feel you don't have a right to exist. It can give you this feeling of, I am nobody, of, feeling emptiness. You can feel I am not enough, desire to prove oneself as a result. You can feel like I don't fit in, I don't exist. And as a result, you need to be liked by everyone. Like, it's just an inner need with you to be liked by everyone. It can make you feel a tendency to hurt yourself, either psychologically or physically. Feeling numb, can result from this, expression. Um, you can't heal it, but you must learn to accept oneself as you are, despite a pain of feeling unworthy. Okay. So I wanted to give some more details about Chiron. Um, it will be in Aries until 2027. Okay, it just left Pisces, and I think that was about 9 years, 9 to 10 years that it was in Pisces. And Pisces, surged up a lot of guilt in us, because Pisces, you know, there's just a lot of guilt that comes with having when Chiron is in Pisces, just a lot of guilt for a lot of things. As Pisces is the last sign. So they often consider Pisces to be the wisest. And if you meet a lot of Pisces, you will see that Pisces do have a lot of wisdom. Because they're the last sign. So they are the ones that have seen all the other 12 signs, all the other 11 signs go at it. And they took bits and pieces and learned from it and incorporated bits and pieces of it into themselves. So that's why Pisces is like, they call it, I don't like the word, but they call it the garbage can of the zodiac signs, because it has all of the characteristics of the signs. So Pisces, it spends the most time, Chiron spends the most time in Pisces and in Aries. And so with it being in Pisces, it's connecting the end of everything to the beginning of everything. Thus, Aries is the beginning of everything, of course, with it being the first sign. So in Aries and Pisces, it can spend 8 or 9 years. It's the most time in the zodiacs. It spends the most time. In ancient mythology, Chiron was a centaur, Half God, half horse. Very intelligent. Centaurs is, kind of like the Sagittarius sign, where it's half man, half horse. It's the same thing. They were very wise ones, philosophers, if you will. So like I said, Chiron can really make you feel an identity crisis when it's in Aries. And if you have Chiron in Aries, that's how it's going to affect you. And depending on the houses, say you have it in the first house. If you have it in the first house, then your Chiron is visible to everybody. Everybody that comes in contact with you sees your wound. Okay? And those are the people who have dealt with bullying. They just, they have identity issues. There was something about them that, people, you know, saw instantly. And, they were bullied as a result. And it made them feel not like, that they didn't fit in, And they say, that people who have Chiron in the first house, they often have like a scar on their face from, old wounds from childhood, But, basically when Chiron's in the first house, it's very visible for all to see. So when Chiron falls in the different houses, it interprets, it constructs itself differently. But, the core essence of it will still be the same with it being in Aries. The feeling of numbness, the feeling like of having identity issues. Now, when it's in the house, it's going to dictate the house. So when it's in the second house, you may feel an identity issue over your self-worth, your values, not really knowing what your self-worth is, not feeling like you really fit in, or you really know how to balance your money, or you don't feel comfortable when it comes to your values and your ways of earning money, because second house is one of the houses that you earn your money in. And the third house is your early childhood, neighborhood, short distance. The third house is your short distances, so it's like your neighborhoods and stuff like that. So when this Chiron is there, you may not have felt like you fit in your neighborhoods. You may not have felt like you fit in amongst your siblings, because third house rules your younger siblings. But me personally, I just feel like it does rule your younger siblings, but I feel like it rules like your siblings' relationship in all total, along with the 11th house. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. Chiron in the fourth house, you may not have felt like you fit in your home life, with your parents or the people who took care of you. You always felt, inadequate in some way. With it in the fifth house, you may not have felt talented. You may not have gotten enough acknowledgement for your creativity growing up with your parents. So when you grow up, you always feel that you're not as creative, but you just, the fact that it's there, you are creative, but you feel like it's not there. It's just a part of you. It's like looking in the mirror, of a mirror that contorts your view, your looks. And so you see like this big fat faced person, or whatever you see in the mirror. You see it, but it doesn't mean that it's there. But that's how you perceive it. So Chiron will take a lifetime with you trying to knock down those walls and realize that it's there. Okay. So that's how it works in the houses. It just dictates the house. Among all changes happening in 2019, this transition into Aries is going to emit the most potential to step outside of whatever is bringing us down. A new search for identity is going to be set in motion. So like I said, you're going to have these, issues with questioning yourself. What is my life purpose? What am I here for? What am I being guided to do? What do people want from me? What do they want from me? You are going to have like this, this feeling of overall, what am I fighting for? What is my fight, over? Because Aries, like I said, is the god of war. It's the warrior. The first to, step out into the world and explore the world. Aries as being the first sign. So you're going to just have these battles with yourself, really trying to figure out what is your purpose. if you choose not, no, let me step back and say this part too, because it's really important. Um, this time that Aries is going to be in here, it's an enlightenment period. You're discovering yourself. You're being pushed to start something new, to start a new path in your life. That's why a lot of us are noticing that the old ways are not working for us anymore. So we are really looking for something new. We are looking for our identity. We're trying to figure out who we are, because like the phoenix rising from the ashes, the phoenix rises anew. So that's what's happening to us. We've been, burnt and tired of the old ways, and now we're looking to renew ourselves. So this is something that's going to take a lot of courage with it being in Aries, okay? It's not going to be easy. It's going to push us forward, though. Like with the energy, with the Chiron being in Aries, it will give us the energy to push forward. Now, if we choose to cheat the energy by, deciding not to push forward and start new, or, putting it off on someone else to do it instead of pushing ourselves into the new direction, because it's going to take a lot of work for us to get to where we want to be, we're going to have to do it. It's not going to be easy on us. It's going to be hard, but we're going to have the energy to do it because it's an Aries. So if we choose to slack, or let somebody else take the weight and work hard for us, or we just choose not to do it at all, well, we're gonna face difficulties with transformation, okay? Because whether we like it or not, we have to go through a transformation. And if we refuse to, life is gonna just keep handing us a lot of obstacles and hurdles, eventually, until we push forward, you know. And so I encourage us all to find out what our Chiron is, what house it's in, and figure out how it's affecting us. Because if it's in Aries, it's definitely going to directly affect you. It's definitely going to be affecting you. If it's in Aries or the first house, it's Aries in Chiron right now is hitting you. Okay, you're really feeling it. But us, in the universe within as a whole, we're all feeling it because the energy, the Chiron is here. So we're all going to feel that energy. But it's just that if you have Chiron, especially in Aries, you're definitely going to feel it even more. So I encourage us all to figure out where our Chiron is, what sign is in our Chiron, in order to completely, feel, understand what our trauma is. Where did it come from, so that we can be honest with ourselves. And the moment that we can become honest with ourselves about what our traumas is, and what happened to us, then we can begin to push forward to start new. But we can't do it unless we first address the big issue, which is, what is your Chiron? What is your wound? What is your wounded healing, that you need to work on. I hope this message resonated. I hope it helped in some way. If not, please leave comments. Please like, subscribe, and comment anyways. But if you have any questions, you can always comment on here, and I will try my best to help you out with any questions that you have relating to the subject matter. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll talk to you later.